Buongiorno, or whatever whatever time it is that you are listening to this. Welcome back to the 100th and something episode of the Nobody Asked For This podcast. I have officially lost count. I was meticulous about counting in the beginning, episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we kind of lost it in the middle, probably between like episode 40 and episode 80, and then once we hit 80, I was like, we're almost at 100, so we gotta like start counting again. Now, we're past 100, not to brag, and I have no idea, so maybe we'll catch back up at 200, but I hope everyone is having a great week. Week's been decent. I'm just sitting here, 8:30 a.m. on a Wednesday morning, drinking a Celsius that I just found out has 200 or how many milligrams of caffeine? One sec. 200 milligrams of caffeine. Now, here's the thing. Whatever works for you is what you need to do. But, like, if you are tired to the point of needing 200 milligrams of caffeine in a single 355 ml serving, 12 fluid ounces, if you follow the ounce system, maybe there is different things that you should be doing. Like, I don't know. I just feel like over the last couple years, these, like, very, very highly caffeinated drinks have become really popular. And again, that's great. But, like, why are we all so tired? And if we're all so tired, maybe we just have to sleep more. I think sleep really gets... sleep is underrated. Like, sleep is really good, I feel like maybe 5 years ago, and especially during the pandemic, like, time was fake. Like, we weren't actually, like, living by the clock. I was walking around my house at 2 a.m. like it was noon. But a couple years ago, I said, you know what? I'm gonna choose sleep. Because really, if you really think about it, you can only be so productive in the middle of the night. Obviously, yes, I'm sure there's stuff you could work on, work things that you could do, but, like, what is the quality of the work you are going to be turning out at 2 a.m.? Truly. I was staying up till 2, 3 in the morning, and all I was doing was Googling, like, conspiracy theories, trying to find, I was solving murders, and to be completely honest, I didn't solve any. Once I chose sleep and started solving crimes in the light of day, I didn't solve any, but I feel like I got a bit closer, So if you leave this podcast with any message, just choose sleep. Now, I am drinking a Celsius, so I am a bit tired. It was more so just because it was around, but I forgot how much caffeine is in these things. It's a touch concerning, but I'm just gonna ride it out. We'll see. Because how many milligrams is a cup of coffee? I feel like Red Bull is actually not that much caffeine. I think Red Bull is like a weak cup of coffee. How many milligrams in a cup of coffee? Okay, 80 to 100 milligrams of caffeine. Okay, so this is really only 2 cups of coffee. Okay, you know what? Maybe I take the whole thing back, because I've definitely at breakfast, like, sat and had 3 or 4 cups of coffee. So maybe just drinking one of these is fine. This is like how I can't sit down to watch a movie, but maybe would watch like 5 episodes of an hour-long TV show. And it's like, well, you just watched like 2 movies. Although we've talked about this before, movies are getting way too long. And TV shows, if it's not 20 minutes, I'm probably not watching it. If it's not one of those, like, 23-minute, like, a sitcom situation, I don't know that I can sit down and watch, 8 episodes of True Detective. I don't know that I can do it. And that's just me. Like I was saying before, I hope everyone has had a good week. I have had a decent week. It went full... Honestly, we skipped fall and just went straight to winter. It was, like, pouring rain. and I'm looking up at the clouds on this 8:29 a.m. or 8:35 a.m. on a Wednesday morning, and it's looking sunny, but the clouds are like dark and gloomy, so I don't know, like duck and cover. I have no idea what to wear. What I've been doing is I do one season for half of my outfit and then the other season for the other half. So like I'll do shorts and a long sleeve shirt or pants and a short sleeve shirt. So if anyone just wanted to know like what my method was for wardrobe this week, that's what it's been. But yeah, I talked last week about some fall foods. Obviously, that has been a top of mind. This is the last episode of the Nobody Asked for This podcast in August. When you hear from me next, it'll be full September, which, if anyone has heard me talk about how I believe the season should be and how I follow them, to me, September 1st is the first day of fall. So that is sort of how that's how I live. So this is the last episode of summer. If you want to take more summer, like don't let me stop you. You can take those extra 3 weeks or whatever it is. But I personally, I kind of max out summer on August 31st. So there's that. Also, since you've heard from me last, I've had multiple pumpkin spice lattes. Actually, not full lattes, but I've had multiple pumpkin spice elements to my hot beverages. Coffee. No, did I have a cold one? I can't remember. Maybe I had a cold one. But we're really in full swing of fall. I really hope to make some sort of like a pumpkin muffin or maybe like a pumpkin pancake or like even like a pumpkin like banana pudding, but like with pumpkin. I don't know. I'm ready for pumpkin. Because here's the thing. I feel like at the end of the year always goes by so fast that I have to start now to feel like I got a full fall. Because there's nothing worse than a slim fall, you know? We got to I want the full 3 months or whatever it is. So if that means I have to start 5 months before it actually ends, then that's just what I have to do. One sec. I'm feeling a little bit tired. Let me take a couple sips of caffeine. I wonder what the per sip quantity of caffeine is in this beverage. Vitamin B. Oh, there's lots of vitamin B. 110% of your daily dose of vitamin B. Okay. Sure, I'll believe it. Tragic news. I forgot to charge my phone last night. Isn't that the worst when you wake up and you're like, oh. And my headphones were still connected. I have to, my AirPods, the shelf life of a pair of AirPods for me is unfortunately not very long because I usually either intentionally or unintentionally fall asleep with my AirPods in. And I guess I just toss and turn like an animal in my sleep because I'll wake up and one AirPod is underneath the pillow and then the other AirPod is by my feet, it's rolled over. Sometimes on the floor, under my bed. So that is unfortunately probably not how you sustain good AirPod quality control. Just having it jumbling around. Is that a word? Either way, that's what's happening. So my AirPods, I hate to say it, are getting very quiet. And I need to do something to fix it. So, you know what I saw the other day? I saw that they have an AirPods, or whatever brand you use, wireless headphones. Get this, carrying string. So, you can have your headphones, get ready, on a wire. We are just constantly going in circles. The wire is coming back. Do you remember when Apple, this is so random, do you remember? I laugh about this every once in a while. Do you remember when Apple was yeah, you know that headphone port? We're just taking it out. That was crazy. That was a crazy thing to do. And they did it anyway, and they did it loud and proud, and now I don't think they make any phones. Like, any brand makes any phones with the headphone thing, but, like, that was an insane thing to do. I heard that next they're getting rid of the charging port, and, like, that sounds crazy now, but maybe in 5 years that's going to be normal. I don't know. I never really took to wireless charging. Maybe I should. Maybe I should just angle a wireless charger. I could do a science experiment. Because, again, normally I don't really decide to go to sleep. I'm just sort of, like, on my phone with my AirPods in, and then I'm just sleeping. So I usually, like, drop my phone or, like, falls off the bed or something. So if I'm able to conduct some sort of scientific experiment where I'm able to, maybe I'll get a protractor and see, like, the angle at which my phone falls off my bed, see where it most commonly lands, and then put a wireless charger there so that it'll fall and then land on the wireless charger, and then I wake up with a charged phone. And I'm going to Shark Tank with that idea, I think. I'll have to find some sort of, like, actual professional who knows, like, how science works or whatever to kind of help me fulfill that dream. Or, okay, because I'm really just the ideas person, but I think maybe we could have some sort of magnet in the phone and then magnet in the wireless charger that will turn on at, like, 12:01, or maybe honestly 10:30, because again, I'm choosing sleep, so I'm going to bed early, and the phone just goes whoosh, and attaches to the charger, and then you can't unlock it. And then that would be a good way, because then we could also do like a like parental element where it's like, yeah, your kid's phone will be charged so that you can track them on their walk to school in the morning, but they also can't use their phone past, maybe we do a 9 o'clock, 9:30. What time do kids go to bed? I have no idea. I know I'm in bed at 10, but we'll see. So there's that. Again, no one steal my idea. I don't know if me just saying, please don't steal my idea, makes it so that no one can. I don't know, like, the legal loopholes. If I have to, like, copyright or whatever. Do I own the copyright of this podcast? I don't know. I clearly don't have a legal team. I barely have listeners. So I feel like we'll take that journey one step at a time. But, here we are. I'm just a lowly, I can't really call myself a podcaster, but just a lowly civilian on a Wednesday morning, late August, that is acting like it's fall, because it can't decide what the weather wants to be. I talked last week about hoping that pumpkin chili was in my future. It has not happened yet, although I really would like it to. I heard football is like, it's kind of been like, they've been doing a soft launch, but like it's back this week. So maybe that's a good time to take out the old chili pot. Maybe add some pumpkin. Because again, to me, fall is starting on, I think it's Saturday. No. Fall is starting on Sunday. When is September 1st? I believe September 1st is Sunday. Ooh, and it's Labor Day on Monday. Literally the worst. It's so funny because when you're younger, I'll speak for myself, worst day of the year, because I always went back to school the day after Labor Day. But now, honestly, one of my favorite times. One of my favorite times because it's the start of fall, to me. Even though I think most of September is technically summer, but I don't really abide by that system because if you're abiding by that system, then that means that fall actually ends like a few days before Christmas, and that makes no sense to me. So like really the rest of the year is fall. Like no, so you're telling me there's only like a week of winter left in the year of 2024? No. Although even just saying the word winter gets me nervous because January, like, I know we have so much to look forward to, but January will be here before we know it. And with January comes February and March. And I don't know that I can do it again. I think it's too soon. I feel like we just got out of that time. And I know, again, there's probably like 3 or 4 months, I can't do the math, left. But I just can't. What I do want to do is start eating candy corn. I've been looking for it. I've been on the hunt at the stores, and I have yet to find candy corn. Most specifically, I'm looking for the bag that has regular candy corn, those little pumpkins, and then there's like another version of candy corn. Maybe it's like a chocolate candy corn. I don't need that. Ooh, do they have chocolate dipped candy corn? I'm going to look into that. They've got to, right? Okay, let's Google. Again, my phone is like not having the most battery because I forgot to charge it. Chocolate dipped candy corn. I swear I have to think of everything. Huh. Okay, there's like recipes for it. Candy corn Rice Krispie treats. I guess there's not... Oh, yeah, here, it does exist. I guess there's not much, like, candy corn flavored things because the flavor profile of candy corn is just sugar. Like, it doesn't really taste like anything. It's more texture. Oh, a candy corn cookies. I'm so excited for fall. And, like, Halloween and scary movies. I got to put together a list of movies that I want to watch, even though I just finished talking about how I can barely finish a movie. But I feel like horror movies are normally like hour and a half, because really, like, you can only film a horror movie for so long because you're just in like fight or flight or whatever. Like, it's not good probably for the actors in a horror movie to be like screaming. Like, you can't be screaming for 6 months. Like, we gotta like Hallmark movie it and film this thing in 2 weeks and just get it out. Also, I live in an area where they film a lot of Hallmark movies, so I've kind of been like on the lookout, on the hunt for those productions. Not to be in them, because don't worry, no one's asked me to do that, but just to see. They were filming one in my neighborhood a couple years ago, and the urge I had to just walk up to the snack table, because it was just open, it was just out. I was like, there is no, like, they wouldn't know. Like, if I just walk, because what it is it's like this, there's this tent, and it was just like a couple tables of snacks. I believe they did serve meals at certain times. I was never able to figure out the full schedule of those meals. But the urge, I was just going to walk up and get a protein bar. I was just on a walk, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. My neighborhood is doing some sort of like neighborhood appreciation event with food. And then I later found out that no, it's for the movie that they're filming, but can't keep me away from a snack table. Honestly, I will eat anything on a snack table. I have a little bit of like I'm kind of specific about like food safe and like how long has this been sitting out, or like, you know, maybe like bringing a cooler to the grocery store so that everything stays nice and cold. When it comes to snack table, like, I will eat those dry pieces of broccoli that no one wanted, that have been sitting out for 8 hours and people probably coughed on and sneezed on, just because, like, I'll eat it just because it's there. You know? That ranch dip has been out since 7 a.m. and it's now 10 p.m. I'm sure it's fine. It'll make the broccoli pieces that are left less dry. Or like the carrot. It's always like some carrots left. Because also, the psychology of a snack table is so interesting to me, because it's a lot of like, oh, I don't want to take the last portion. So no one takes the last portion, and then the last portion is sitting there until it essentially dries to the point of becoming like broccoli beef jerky. So it's like someone might as well have eaten it. And then also like the double dipping of it all, it's really interesting to me. I think some people are more free about that, and some people are like barely dipping the thing. Or I remember one time, and this has stuck with me, I dipped a piece of bread into the ranch because like I was like, I'm not eating the vegetables, even though I do like vegetables. Even as a kid, I liked vegetables. Anything as a vessel for ranch is perfect, but I dipped a piece of bread into the ranch of the veggie tray, and everyone was like, you just contaminated the ranch. Like, there's like bread pieces in there now, so like it's like not allergy safe. And I was like, oh my god, I literally was like, I'm the worst person in the world. Like, I felt terrible, still feel bad, and I've never done that again. So it was a learning lesson. But it's just stuff like that where like you don't think about it, but it also, if you read into it, you're like, oh my god, I'm the worst person ever. And I don't think I'm the worst person ever, because again, I did a lot of midnight searching of like murderers and stuff, trying to solve crimes. So like the murderers are definitely worse than me, like for sure. And that's something I have to remind myself sometimes. But I did dip a piece of bread into ranch and contaminate the whole thing by total accident at like 8 years old. And I was probably 12, and I'm really working on letting it go, but it hasn't happened yet. Anyway, to recap, I want pumpkin chili. Still has not happened. I'm going to do it one day, I promise. You know what? I'm going to go to the store on the way home today, and I'm just going to buy a couple cans of pumpkin so that it's there if the opportunity presents itself. Because as much as I would love to, like, you can't just, like, make a chili. Because not the problem with chili, but the thing with chili is it really does have to, like, cook. Like, I've made chili in an hour, and it just tastes like a bunch of different stuff. It tastes more of like a stew, but you really need to let chili, like, you need to let the beans, know the seasoning, know the tomato, know the beef or whatever, if you're putting or like a potato or like a sweet potato, know the pumpkin. They all have to meet and intermix and decide that they like each other before you can eat it. Also, you have to put cornbread. I actually saw something where, like, you made the chili and then you put the batter of the cornbread on top and then put that in the oven. Maybe that would be a good way for all the chili things to intermix. I also don't know why you couldn't just make a pan of cornbread and then just, like, put it on top. Like, I think it's all the same. But I feel like I need some, like, fall recipes, because I did get a chopper. I'm not a terrible cook. I don't cook often, but, like, I'm a terrible chopper. Onions, all the onions are different sizes. It takes me 48 hours. Like, I'm not kidding. 48 minutes to chop one onion. So I did invest in one of those choppers where you just... And the 2 times I've used it in the past year have been stellar. Not in the honor of transparency, in the goal of transparency, I'm here to tell you it is now about 8 hours later since my last recording. About 10 hours from the original, like, first recording. I'm sitting in the same spot, literally, the same coordinate of the planet. Interestingly enough, it is now boiling hot. I was freezing cold for half of the day. And then this last 4 hours has been sweltering. Was that the word? Sweltering heat. So I don't know what end is up. I keep complaining. I'm trying not to open the window because I don't want it to affect the audio quality, but I'm also trying to live. So at some point I might have to put live up to the top of my list. But I did want to share that there are a few exciting developments since I last spoke with you. One being, I am officially having chili. It's not pumpkin chili, just regular chili, but there's chili in my future. So I really think that you'll find me by the next episode of the Nobody Asked For This podcast. It'll be September, and you'll also find me a different person because I will have had the first chili of the year. Now, to be 100% honest, am I a bit mad that once the chili came into my life, so did the sun? I'm a little bit mad, yes. I would have liked instant rain to have started because there's no better weather to eat chili in than the rain. I don't exactly know why that is, like why soup is associated with cold weather. I guess because it's like warm, but still, I'm not 100% sold. Like, I think chili can be eaten all year round. But listen, I don't make the rules. That's kind of what happens when you're born 2,000 years plus after the world started. It's like so much was decided for you that, like, you really don't have a shot. Like, I feel like if I was born in like 2 or something, or like 3, like I maybe could have been at the forefront of some things and like maybe made things a little bit different. Not necessarily better, but different. But I'm really just like working. Everyone born past the year, 20, like you really were just working with whatever happened before you, which has created some issues, clearly. But yeah, I don't know. Again, this is a lot. The Nobody Asked This podcast is me just asking questions. I don't have solutions. I don't have much necessarily, but I do have my questions. Okay, moving on. It is hot. I have about 5 more minutes left before I have to unroll a window. Listen, it's not a glamorous job that I've chosen. Job is a very strong word for whatever's happening here. Okay, looking ahead to next week, we're going to be in September 1st. I'm trying to think, are there any new... Oh, okay. I don't know if I've talked about my... what would even be the word? My relationship to the Chobani Flip. Anyone that doesn't know, they have, by the Chobani brand, this is not sponsored, they have these little, they're like kind of squares of yogurt, where there's actually a lot of shapes happening. It's like a square of yogurt, and then there is the whole package itself is square, and then in one corner, there's like a triangle, but it's not like a classic triangle, it's like more of a Pythagorean theorem, or whatever that thing was called. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. So it's not like necessarily even sides. And then there's like a smaller triangle on the top left of toppings. So each one has a theme. So it'll be like s'mores, and it'll be like marshmallow ice cream with graham cracker and chocolate and marshmallow, and then you flip the thing over. I guess that's the need for the squares. You flip the thing over and you mix it all in, and there's like little crunchy bits. Now, again, don't love the packaging. I don't know why we couldn't just do like half and half or 3/4 and 3/4. Like, there is definitely an easier way to do it. They could also take the approach of the granola yogurt parfait that the grocery stores have, where it's like cup on top, yogurt on the bottom. I don't make the rules. Because the only problem with the Chobani, if the Chobani people are listening, it just makes a spoon hard to be like trying to scoop yogurt out of the Pythagoras section. And then on top of that, like trying to get the proper ratio of crumbles to yogurt. It creates confusion, but it's something I can work with. Like, if there's a reason it has to be like that, I'm down. All of that to say, they just released a pumpkin flavor, and it was spectacular. It was really good. It was like a pumpkin, like, cinnamony yogurt with, like, honestly, most of the time, sorry, I have gum in my mouth if it sounds like I'm... One sec. Let me be a professional podcaster and spit my gum out. Okay, I fixed it. Most of the time, it's like 2 or 3 add-ins. The pumpkin one, it's like 5 or 6, and I can't even name them all. There's like cinnamon crunchy bits. There's like sprinkles of some sort, but it's really good. I do recommend everyone go get that. And then I'm just waiting with bated breath. If anyone at the Perfect Bar Company would like to send me some pumpkin pie Perfect Bars, I believe those are coming out soon. I would advise... I would accept if you wanted to send me those. Pretty much anyone wanting to send me free samples of anything, especially food, please send it to me. I accept. Now, I will be doing the Halloween theory where you have to, make sure all the ends are closed and there's not like a razor blade. Like, if you're sending me food via mail, I will maybe take it on an airplane with me to have it be scanned through that, the security board. Now, it might be a little confusing or end poorly for me if there is something wrong with the food and they do find a razor blade, because then they're probably not going to believe that I was using their equipment as a test and not someone that needs to be taken to secondary inspection. So I really feel like I worked out the kinks of that one. I probably should not do that, but I have this recording as an example, or as evidence A, of me planning ahead. So I'm actually fine. I'm totally safe. See, when I start saying things like that, it is my cue within myself to know to stop. So we're going to call it a show. We're going to call it an episode. Thank you so much for listening. I will do the full rundown, if for nothing other than ceremony. If you like what you hear, you can go to podcastnobodyaskforthis.podbean.com. On there, you can listen to all the episodes just straight on that website, or you can find the links to all of our Spotify podcast, a couple other places, Google Podcasts, Samsung Podcasts. For a while, I don't want to say we were big, but we were bigger on Samsung Podcasts for some reason in the UK. Now, not to bring this up, but since the untimely passing of Queen Elizabeth, I don't know if it was that untimely, but since Queen Elizabeth is no longer in the UK, those numbers have sunk. So I don't know, again, causation, correlation doesn't equal or whatever, but I don't know if there was a link there, like maybe she was our one subscriber, I don't know. Just go to the website. And yeah, thank you so much for listening to this. I really appreciate you spending your time over here with me. And yeah, I mean, and again, I just want a quick disclaimer. I know no one listens to this. It's just sort of like what I say, but I do mean it. And I hope everyone has a great rest of August, and I'll talk to you next week. Goodbye.